Welcome back to the channel. The LMM is back in the garage. Do not mind the area that I'm working in today, and I have not been able to clean up. But we're gonna pull the engine out of this thing. But first, we got a new nickname for it. It used to be the Red Rocket. Don't really care for that anymore. We got a new name. This is gonna be going on new t-shirts, all that stuff. You guys may know the color code of this truck is labeled Victory Red. So I came up with thick tory. Thick tory, Victory. It sounds pretty good, and especially when it has slicks on it, it is a pretty damn thick truck. So thick tory is the name for the LMM. I think it matches it very well. But today we're beginning the engine out. Got a few other goodies over here we're going to talk about. You may see over there's another turbo, and it has a polished cover as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the other goodies we got going on here. This truck's going to be down for a little bit. I have a goal set for it. Hopefully a month it's pulled back out. It's ready to go, and we have everything. We're waiting on a couple things from powder coat, a couple other parts, odds and ends. A lot of stuff is going to be getting redone under the engine bay and stuff. We'll talk about that when we get this engine out. But guys, we got to talk about one thing. We have a serious dirt drag coming up, Mason-Dixon, Delta, PA. Do not want to miss it. It is coming up October 13th. First event that I'll be a part of hosting. A couple of us buddies got together. We got tired of going to dirt drag events that turned out to be complete crap. All the good events are kind of going downhill. So we got together and we decided to put one on for the racers, by us racers. We know it works. And you guys got to come out. We need as many sponsors as possible because every single dollar a sponsor puts up goes directly to the winners. We're going to have a stock turbo class, strictly stock turbo, and then we're going to have a run what you brung class. Guys, you got to come. It's going to be insane. We're expecting a lot of trucks. So if you want to sponsor, reach out to me. The payout is going to be all up to our sponsors, guys. Right now, we have quite a few. Let's make this event one of the best possible dirt drags. Pumped to even help put on an event and host an event. And just volunteer and make sure this is the best dirt drag possible for you guys. And that's the goal. We want to put on an amazing event because we know what racers want. But today, we're going to get this engine out. We're going to put a little time lapse together. And once it's out, I'll talk about what we're going to do, what all new goodies we have here, and what the plan is. So let's get this thing out. When I pulled the lower rad hose off the water pump, we got some water pump debris in there, as you can see. Pull some chunks out. That would be why it overheated instantly. I guess all the RPM shredded that water pump, so definitely would cause it to overheat. So let's get the rest of this out. And voila, the engine is out, trans is out. That's getting refreshed because I want this thing to be completely ready and 100% by the time we pull it back out. Little thing I want to talk about, if you remember from the last video, it was overheating. Show you guys the chunks from the water pump. There's the beautiful new engine over there. But let's pull this off and see what we got going on. Let this drain. So there's some big chunks of water pump in there, which would explain why this thing will not cool down. It didn't break off on this side, it broke off on this side. So let's zip these bolts out and see what we got. Oh, wow. Wow. That would explain why it, it wouldn't cool down. Oh, man. It has great oil pressure, all that. Obviously, it has bent rods in the bottom end, but if I ever use this engine for another project, I am going to keep it on hand. If I use this engine for another project, obviously, I am going to put LBZ rods in it, put fresh head gaskets on it. Right now, it has GM Gold's Grade C, which is the worst gasket you could possibly buy, and it has stock head bolts. Like, this engine was a complete budget, knowing that I was going to blow it up or whatever, but hey, it still runs. Swap out rods and fresh head gaskets, and it's good to go. So have this on standby, and for whenever I may need it, for whatever I may need it for. But yeah, so we'll keep this, tuck this in the corner somewhere. Pretty much got to rob valve covers off of this, Y bridge, accessory brackets, stuff like that, but solid engine to have as a backup. Now I got some other goodies over here we're going to talk about that is going to go on this thing. Beautiful engine is sitting here ready to go. First things first, this is a VS Racing 758711. As you know how to get the cover polished, all the turbos I've been running lately have had the polished cover. It just goes with this engine and the truck itself very well. First time running a VS China Boy on a diesel truck. Heard great things. Are great in the gas world. Really very well built. It looks really good. So we're going to test it out as a spare, because we'll talk about the 80 in a minute that needs sent off to be refreshed and going through before we put it back on. So probably going to run this one if that one ain't back, but it looks very well built. Now that is sitting on the DP Customs Billet T4 pedestal. This thing, guys, yes, it's very pricey, but it's well worth it. I mean, this thing is beautiful. Just look at it. Damon did a great job. Great idea. Very, very impressed with this. Look at how I could have this ran. I'm not going out into the hood. I cannot cut that hood up. I just can't do it. So we're going to get this fabbed up to go into the downpipe. Speaking of downpipes, guys, I actually had a few guys tell me that this 3-inch that I had, the WC Fab style that connects to the factory V-band, a 3-inch is too small. It actually produced a lot of back pressure. The tuner actually said that he's seen up to 18 PSI before, so that is no bueno. So we got this HSP 3.5. He tried to convince me to do a 4, but I'm not jamming a 4-inch between this and the firewall. It's just not going to work. So that's going to do that. Never messed with wastegates before, but I'm going to figure it out. Learning curve for me. But guys, just look at this pedestal. Phew, that thing is beautiful. The reason we are doing a wastegate, guys, is because look at all of this nitrous I have. You think I need all of this? A Lightning 375 and then 2 of these? Wow. And the Max 5 to top it off to make this thing dialed in and make it the best setup possible. So we could push some serious power through this alone. But you got to have a gate. Don't overspin a turbo. These turbos are not cheap. I mean, obviously that VS Racing is. But this Work 80 isn't. Reason we're sending this out, as you can see the scarring in there. This wheel was hitting the cover. But, I mean, right now, no play really. I mean, there's no in and out. Very minimal side to side. If you can hear it. But, yes, it was hitting, so we're getting that sent off. I need to get this freshly polished when I get it back as well. So we're going to send it off to Reed at Work Turbochargers, and he's going to get that refreshed. These MMRP billet injector hold downs come with stainless steel ARP hold down bolts. If you could see, these things are very well made. They're built and made in the USA, as you could see. The SoCal ones are a good option as well. These ones are a little cheaper, and they go with the theme of my engine a little better, being the polished aluminum look, stuff like that. So these are going to look very sweet on that built motor. So if you guys want a set, hop on the website, link is below. But back to Nitrous, guys. I've never messed with anything to this extent before. For me, a huge learning curve. Never wired up a Max 5 before. Never tuned a Nitrous setup before, but it's going to be worth it. I don't need all this for a 670 truck, but I have it on standby. What I'm probably going to do is, you see that this is only a 2 solenoid bracket. Now, I'm going to feed these two together where it has the purge. It actually goes all the way through. So I'm going to mount these two together, drill a hole here. That way the outlet could come through like here, and then have the mounting bolt. So they're going to sit like that, them two next to each other. And then the 375, the big boy, is going to sit up front here. These two are going to be tied together. Outlet, outlet, outlet. This one's going to act as a spool jet if need be. And then these are going to be two main kits. Use this one, third kit if I need, which I probably will never need, but at least it'll be a spool kit. Third kit if I need, because it is on a button. It could be a scramble button. It could be a spool jet, whatever I want it to be that particular day or race. But this is going to turn out very well. Just got to figure out how I'm actually going to mount this. So let's go over to the truck and figure that out. Cannot mount it there. I didn't really like Nitrous sitting over there. I kind of want it out of the way. So I'm thinking over here. And then the cold side pipe comes up to the Y bridge, like right here. So if I'm going to have this mounted here, and then the solenoid, then the outlets of the solenoid coming underneath and going right into the cold side pipe about right here. So kind of like where these lines are is where the cold side pipe sits. So yes, it's kind of a longer line, but I don't think it's going to work well up here. There's really nowhere to mount this with the solenoids, because solenoids are pretty damn big, so I don't think this is going to work. It's going to have to go over here. I mean, I could always put the bungs, because I got bungs to weld on the cold side pipe versus the raggedy crap I had before. So I could always weld them down here, but you always want it closest to the intake as possible. That's a harder hit. But I mean, it still is on the cold side. It is big solenoids. I'm going to have big jets if need be. I think it's going to work extremely well right here, and clean it up a little bit since I don't really have anything here. Obviously, the intake comes and sits right here, but I do not have anything right there. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. So I'm extremely happy about this, guys. This truck, it's came a long way since I bought it, and we're making some serious progress now. I'll pull this out, power wash it, probably not today, but probably sometime next week or whatever, before the engine goes in anyway, and clean up the firewall, ditch this nitrous, pretty much just make sure it's all clean for the new engine, get rid of this power steering pump, put a new PSC on, going to do a new steering gear because this one's kind of loose. We got to reseal the front diff because it has been leaking for quite a long time now, but I just make sure it's topped off with fluid. And yeah, just clean up in here. That way, when that new engine's dropped in, it is ready to go. Transmission is out, getting refreshed. Not that it needs refreshed, but I want it going through to make sure it's perfectly ready to send, because we want that 9-second pass. So guys, please follow along. Like I said, this is going to be a huge learning curve for me. Never set up Nitrous to this extent before, or this level. This is huge. This is a lot of Nitrous. The Max 5, I've never tuned one. I've never wired one up. I know absolutely nothing about tuning, anything about it, but I'm going to figure it out. Again, with the wastegate, I've never messed with one. There's not much info out there about them. There isn't something like I go on here and look up a how-to video on how to set this wastegate up with this setup. It's just something that I got to learn. I got to figure it out on my own. Listen to some advice from the great people that are in my corner, which they're very, very smart guys. You guys know who you are. But when I get all this information, whatever knowledge I get, I'm going to spread it to you guys. I want you guys to pretty much learn with me, for those that do not know much about it. And if you do know a lot about this Nitrous setup or this gate setup, and any advice, please comment below. I'm all ears. More advice is better, because pretty much going in the dark at this point. Please stay tuned to more upcoming videos. Any progress over the truck will be uploaded, and hopefully get this truck back out there shortly. So all right guys, if you haven't, please like, please subscribe, and comment anything you have below. See ya.